Ever wondered how people managed to survive during the Great Depression? What did they do to make ends meet? This was a time of global economic downturn, beginning in the United States in the late 20s, that sent shockwaves around the world. It was a time of struggle, of resilience, and of innovation in the face of adversity. The impact was profound, altering the course of history and shaping societies in ways previously unimaginable. Today, we delve into 15 things people used to do during the Great Depression. First on the list is barter trade. In an era where money was as scarce as hen's teeth, people had to revert to older forms of exchange. A chicken could be swapped for a sack of potatoes, a day's labor for a meal. It was not just about trading goods, services were exchanged too. If you could fix a leaky roof, you might earn a hearty dinner or a jar of homemade preserves. In the face of economic adversity, people had to get creative. They had to barter. Secondly, people turned to home gardening. As the economy faltered, the soil remained a steadfast ally. Families across the nation planted seeds of hope in their backyards, nurturing vegetables and fruits to ripeness. It was an era when the humble potato and the robust carrot became symbols of resilience. This wasn't just about survival, it was a testament to human adaptability and ingenuity. Working the earth, reaping its bounty, individuals discovered a sense of self-reliance and community. Victory gardens, as they were called, fed millions. Third on our list is sewing and repairing clothes. During the Great Depression, the idea of discarding clothing because of a minor tear or missing button was unthinkable. The skill of mending became a household necessity. Instead of buying new garments, people became adept at patching up old ones, altering sizes, and even repurposing fabric from worn-out clothes. This not only saved money, but also extended the life of each garment. In this era of hardship, mending and altering became an essential skill. Fourth, people started canning their own food. As the Great Depression wore on, stretching out meals became crucial. Households turned to canning, an age-old method of preserving food. Fresh produce harvested from the garden or a bargain from the market would be carefully canned to last the colder months. This process not only extended the shelf life of food, but also retained its nutritional value. From pickles to jams, these glass-jarred treasures provided sustenance during the bleak times. Canning was a lifeline during the harsh winters. Fifth, home remedies became a common practice. In the relentless grip of the Great Depression, medical care was often a luxury. But necessity, as they say, is the mother of invention. So people turned to the wisdom of their ancestors, using kitchen staples to treat common ailments. Honey was used for coughs, while chamomile soothed the nerves. A poultice of bread and milk could even draw out an infection. From garlic to ginger, home remedies kept the doctor away. Sixth, people created their own forms of entertainment. In a time when money was scarce, individuals turned to creative, cost-free ways to pass the time and bring joy into their lives. Families would huddle around radios, eagerly tuning into their favorite programs. Children would invent games with whatever materials were at hand. Adults found laughter and camaraderie in storytelling, sharing tales of yesteryears and dreams of brighter tomorrows. From board games to storytelling, entertainment was homemade. Seventh, people saved scraps. During the Great Depression, the concept of waste as we know it today was virtually non-existent. Every little bit of material, every piece of food, every scrap of fabric had its purpose. Leftovers from one meal were creatively incorporated into the next. Old clothing was repurposed into quilts or rugs. Even the smallest piece of metal or wood could be used to fix something around the house. It was a time of resourcefulness and resilience. Every scrap had its worth. Eighth, families lived together. In the days of the Great Depression, many families found strength in unity. They consolidated resources, sharing homes, meals, and responsibilities to weather the economic storm. With many hands making light work, chores were divided, and every member had a role to play. This period saw a surge in multi-generational households as grandparents, parents, and children lived under one roof. It was a time when the phrase, "blood is thicker than water," took on a whole new meaning. Family ties were more important than ever. Ninth, people rode the rails. In these times of desperation, travel became a necessity, not a luxury. Many set off on the iron pathways, hitching rides on freight trains, driven by the hope of finding work or food in distant towns. This wasn't a joyride, but a journey of survival, undertaken with grit and determination. The clatter of the tracks under starlit skies bore witness to their stories. Yet it was not without danger. Hopping trains was a risk that many took. 10th, people relied on soup kitchens and bread lines. In the face of acute hunger, charitable organizations and public institutions stepped up, providing a lifeline to many. Soup kitchens were often run by religious groups, dishing out warm meals to those in need. In contrast, bread lines organized by public institutions offered loaves of bread to the hungry masses. This was a time of stark realities, where the generosity of strangers often meant the difference between hunger and survival. Lines for food were a common sight. 11th, people lived in Hoovervilles. These were makeshift shanty towns, named after President Hoover, who was in office when the Great Depression hit. They sprang up across the nation as desperate citizens sought refuge from the economic storm. Constructed from cardboard, scrap metal, and any other materials people could salvage, these communities became a stark symbol of the dire circumstances many found themselves in. Lacking sanitation, these settlements were riddled with disease, adding to the hardship. Hoovervilles were a testament to the desperate times. 12th, people participated in penny auctions. In the face of adversity, communities found strength in unity. Penny auctions were a testament to this fact. As financial hardships led to foreclosures, neighbors would gather together to bid mere pennies on homes and farms. This would prevent outside buyers from taking over. The auction would end, the property returned to the original owner, and the community would have triumphed over adversity. Penny auctions were acts of rebellion and solidarity. 13th, people resorted to wild food and hunting. In the midst of economic hardships, the wilderness became a pantry. Families would forage for berries, nuts, and edible plants, turning to nature's bounty to supplement their meager rations. Hunting, too, saw a resurgence. Rabbits, deer, even squirrels became valuable sources of protein. This wasn't recreational hunting, but a matter of necessity, a testament to the human instinct to survive against all odds. Foraging and hunting became necessary for survival. 14th, patchwork families were formed. In the face of adversity, families opened their doors and their hearts to relatives and sometimes even strangers. This was not only a display of remarkable compassion, but also a strategic move to share and thereby minimize expenses. In such families, everyone contributed what they could, pooling resources to ensure survival. It was a time when the adage "unity is strength" held true more than ever. Patchwork families were a product of the tough times. Lastly, people valued education. In the midst of the Great Depression, amidst the chaos and struggle, the importance of knowledge stood out like a lighthouse in a storm. Parents, understanding that education was a ticket out of poverty, made tremendous sacrifices to ensure their children could attend school. Teachers, too, often worked without pay, believing in the transformative power of learning. This period underlined the resilience of the human spirit and the belief in a brighter future. Education was seen as a beacon of hope. We've traveled through time, exploring the resilience and creativity of people during the Great Depression. We've seen how they traded goods, cultivated home gardens, mended their clothes, canned food, used home remedies, created their own entertainment, saved scraps, lived together, rode the rails, relied on soup kitchens and bread lines, survived in Hoovervilles, participated in penny auctions, hunted for wild food, formed patchwork families, and valued education. Remember, difficult times often bring out the best in humanity. Until next time, stay curious.